Hello there. How we doing? It's me again, King Booma. Welcome back. I hope you guys checked out the podcast that I put out a couple days ago. Actually, it was yesterday. Sorry, I'm being a muppet. I wanted to do something a little different today, so I looked at one of the older suggestions that one of you guys put up. This one is the difference between the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and England explained. One of you guys, actually a few of you suggested this a few times over the past couple of weeks. And let's check it out. Because I know I've gotten some comments saying I got a few things wrong, but I'm sorry. I'm an American. I don't live there. Never been. Don't know much about it, other than some historical things. But this should be educational. So let's check it out. And I'll just shut up now. Let's do it.
Welcome to The United Kingdom and a Whole Lot More, explained by me, CGP Grey. The United Kingdom, England, Great Britain, are these three the same place? Are they different places? Do British people secretly laugh at those who use the terms incorrectly? Who knows the answers to these questions? I do, and I'm going to tell you right now. For the lost, this is the world, this is the European continent, and this is the place we have to untangle. The area shown in purple is the United Kingdom. Part of the confusion is that the United Kingdom is not a single country, but instead is a country of countries. It contains inside of it 4 co-equal and sovereign nations.
Right, 4 of them.
The first of these is England, shown here in red. England is often confused with the United Kingdom as a whole because it's the largest and most populous of the nations and contains the de facto capital city, London. To the north is Scotland, shown in blue, and to the west is Wales, shown in white. And, often forgotten even by those who live in the United Kingdom, is Northern Ireland, shown in orange. Each country has a local term for the population. While you can call them all British, it's not recommended as the 4 countries generally don't like each other. The Northern Irish, Scottish, and Welsh regard the English as slave-driving colonial masters, no matter that all 3 have their own devolved parliaments and are allowed to vote on English laws, despite the reverse not being true, and the English generally...
Slave masters? Yo. That's crazy. So the Scots, the Welsh, and the Northern Irish, they regard the English as slave owners. Is that true? Come on, man. I don't think... Well, I mean, I don't know shit, really. You guys be calling them slave masters the entire time? Is it really a 3 versus 1 mentality over there? Come on, man. That's interesting. Let me know what you think. Let me use what that guy recommended. Jay. Put it back 10 seconds. How do you like that?
Like each other. The Northern Irish, Scottish, and Welsh regard the English as slave-driving colonial masters, no matter that all 3 have their own devolved parliaments and are allowed to vote on English laws, despite the reverse not being true, and the English generally regard the rest as rural yokels who spend too much time with their sheep. However, as the 4th constituent country...
Come on! So you just got the snobby English looking down on all you Muppets. Look at you, all you sheep-driving people. It must be nice. They can't be that snobby. Come on. I'm sure all 4 of you guys are great. 4 lovely groups of people that can just get along. I mean, in comparison in the United States, it's... I mean, there's certain places that I don't look too fondly upon. I mean... I actually technically live in the South now, but I make fun of Southern Americans often. But it's out of love. I make fun of New Yorkers and people from Boston. One of my best friends is from Boston, so, you know, it's all out of love. In terms of states, the only state that I really am not very fond of, even though I have to admit I've never been there, so it's kind of like, you know, disqualifies me from really saying anything about them. But I kind of look down on California just because the way that, you know, the way their laws are set up over there, and, you know, it seems like, you know, it, like, for instance, if I want to live in, you know, I'll pay as much for, like, a small apartment in California, and if I took the same amount of money and took it to West Virginia, I could buy almost a frickin' mansion. things like that, like the disproportion of wealth and like what you can afford in California is like it's crazy. It's almost nothing. And then I go to West Virginia and I can buy like 50 acres for, in California, if I took the same amount of money and threw it out over there, I could buy a shoebox. So things like that. But this is interesting. Let's keep you on.
Trees don't have their own passports. They are all British citizens, like it or not. They are British citizens of the United Kingdom, whose full name, by the way, is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So where's Great Britain hiding?
That's
Right here. The area covered in black is Great Britain.
That's right, it's
Unlike
the
England,
island.
Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, Great Britain is a geographical rather than a political term. Great Britain is the largest island among the British Isles. Within the United Kingdom, the term Great Britain is often used to refer to England, Scotland, and Wales alone, with the intentional exclusion of Northern Ireland. This has mostly been not completely true, as all three constituent countries have islands that are not part of Great Britain, such as the Isle of Wight, part of England, the Welsh Isle of Anglesey, the Scottish Hebrides, the Shetland Islands, the Auckland Islands, and the islands of the Clyde. The second biggest island in the British Isles is Ireland. It's worth noting at this point that Ireland is not a country, like Great Britain is a geographical, not political term. The island of Ireland contains on it two countries, Northern Ireland, which we have already discussed, and the Republic of Ireland. When people say they are Irish, they are referring to the Republic of Ireland, which is a separate country from the United Kingdom. However, both the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom are members of the European Union, even though England in particular likes to pretend that it's an island in the mid-Atlantic rather than 50
I know that's not true anymore. Because of the Brexit thing, you guys left. That seemed to be a really politically charged thing. I remember there was really intense debates about that. I mean, not here, but I watched when that was going on. I actually had a lot of fun watching British Parliament debate about that. It was one of those issues, and then in the YouTube feed, I clicked on watching the Parliament debate about that, and I believe that that issue cost the prime ministership for two of your prime ministers. I think it was Theresa May and who is it, Cameron? I think that's his last name, if I'm remembering right. They couldn't get a deal done, so it cost both of them their prime ministers' positions. If I'm remembering right, my dumb American brain is hazy, but that was a hot issue. Much like our political hot buttons have been pressed over the last 6 years. It seems like over here, but yeah, I kept watching British Parliament during those debates because it was really interesting to me. You guys have a funny parliament, by the way, too. I kind of wish our Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate had debates like you guys do, because you guys say like the honorable gentleman or the honorable lady. I might be screwing that up, but you say that and then you proceed to just lay into each other in the House of Commons. So it seems like a lot of fun to watch. I had fun in watching it on videos that were put up. So I'm sorry I keep pausing it so much, but this is just really interesting, and I like to comment on it, and I hope you guys comment on it too, and keep me informed about this stuff, because I'm learning a lot from all of you. Let's hit J and continue.
Republic of Ireland, which is a separate country from the United Kingdom. However, both the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom are members of the European Union, even though England in particular likes to pretend that it's an island in the mid-Atlantic rather than 50 kilometers off the coast of France.
Somebody mentioned
But that's a
that.
story for
Yeah.
another time. To review,
I don't know if they
two
mentioned
largest
in the
islands
middle of
British
the
Isles
Atlantic
are
Ocean,
Ireland
though.
and Great Britain. Ireland has on it two countries, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, while Great Britain mostly contains three, England, Scotland, and Wales. These last three, when combined with Northern Ireland, form the United Kingdom. There are still many unanswered questions, such as why when you travel to Canada is there British royalty on the money? To answer this, we need to talk about empire. You can't have gone to school in the English-speaking world without having learned that the British Empire once spanned a fourth of the world's land and governed nearly a fourth of the world's people.
Yeah.
While it's easy to remember the parts of the British Empire that broke away violently, we often forget how many nations gained independence through diplomacy, not bloodshed. These want to be
That's
nations
true
struck a deal
too,
with the
yeah.
empire, where they continue to recognize the monarchy as the head of state in exchange for a local autonomous parliament. To understand how they are connected, we need to talk about the crown. Not the physical crown that sits behind glass in the Tower of London and earns millions of tourist pounds for the UK, but the crown is a complicated legal entity best thought of as a one-man corporation. Who created this corporation? God did. According to British tradition, all power is vested
God.
in God, and the monarch is crowned in a Christian ceremony. God, however, not wanting to be bothered with micromanagement, conveniently delegates his power to an entity
Wait,
called
say that
the
again?
corporation. God did. According to British tradition, all power is vested in God, and the monarch is crowned in a Christian ceremony. God, however, not wanting to be bothered with micromanagement, conveniently delegates his power to an entity called the Crown. While this used to be the physical crown in the Tower of London, it evolved over time into a legal corporation sole, able to be controlled only by the ruling monarch. It's a useful reminder that the United Kingdom is still technically a theocracy, with the reigning monarch acting as both the head of state and the supreme governor of the official state religion, Anglicanism. Such are the oddities that arise when dealing with a 1,000-year-old monarchy. Back to Canada.
I actually want to know this. Because you hear, Britain still has a queen. When she's gone, you're gonna have a king. How much military power does the monarchy really have now? Because hundreds of years ago, almost 1,000 years ago, the king was leading armies into battle and stuff. Could they technically still do that? Would they do that? Do they have multiple people in the royal family in the military? These are all dumb American questions, obviously, but I'd be interested to know that, because you never see that anymore. Who knows? Because I've never heard of like a king or a queen leading troops into battle, in the last like 100 years or so. You don't hear of that. I'd be interested to know about that. Let me know that. I can't talk today.
And the rest. The former colonies that gained the reigning monarch acting as both the head of state and the supreme governor of the official state religion, Anglicanism. Such are the oddities that arise when dealing with a 1,000-year-old monarchy. Back to Canada and the rest. The former colonies that gained their independence through diplomacy and continue to recognize the authority of the crown are known as the Commonwealth realm.
That's right.
They are, in decreasing order of population, Canada, Australia, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Jamaica, the Solomon Islands, Belize, the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Tuvalu. All are independent nations, but still recognize the monarchy as the head of state, even though it has little real power within their borders. There are 3 further entities that belong to the crown, and these are the crown dependencies: the Isle of Man, Jersey, and Guernsey. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they are not considered independent nations, but are granted local autonomy by the crown and British citizenship by the United Kingdom. But the UK does reserve the right to overrule the laws of their local assemblies. Are we done now? Almost, but not quite. There are still a couple of loose threads, such as this place, the tiny city of Gibraltar on the southern coast of Spain, famous for its rock, its monkeys, and for causing diplomatic tension between the United Kingdom
and Spain. Its rock and its monkeys.
What about the Falkland Islands, which caused so much tension between the United Kingdom and Argentina that they went to war over them? These places belong in the last group of crown properties known as British Overseas Territories, but their former name, Crown Colonies, gives away their origin. They are the last vestiges of the British Empire. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they have not become independent nations.
I have another question. Sorry, guys. The Argentine War. I don't know if that's the right term for it. No, it isn't, because I know it. It's the Falklands War. God, I can't talk today. This is my question. Was the Falklands War the last war that was primarily fought by the United Kingdom? Where they either fought on their own or they were the main players in the war? That's a question I want to know, because, other than that war, that's the last war I've heard of where the United Kingdom was, I'm pretty sure they didn't have help. It was the last war where they fought on their own, or they were the lead player among, like, a coalition or something. Because that's the last major war that they had that I know of. I know you guys helped the United States a lot in the Iraq War and the Afghanistan War. But the United States were the main guys. But that's a question I want to know, because if there's one that I don't know about, I'd like to know about it. Let's continue!
group of crown properties known as British Overseas Territories, but their former name, Crown Colonies, gives away their origin. They are the last vestiges of the British Empire. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they have not become independent nations and continue to rely on the United Kingdom for military and sometimes economic assistance. Like the Crown dependencies, everyone born within their borders is a British citizen. The Crown Colonies are, in decreasing order of population, Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, the Turks and Caicos Islands, Gibraltar, the British Virgin Islands, Akrotiri and Dikelia, Anguilla, St. Helena, the Ascension Islands, Tristan da Cunha, Montserrat, the British Indian Ocean Territory.
Akrotiri and Dikelia? Is that on Cyprus? I've heard, better at geography than most Americans. I can say that with a reasonable amount of confidence. I've never heard of Montserrat either, if that's how you say it. But all these other ones I've definitely heard of. But Akrotiri and Dikelia, I've never heard of those. I don't want to pause the video though because I got it on screen record. Afterward, I'm going to look it up afterwards, and I'll I'll keep it in this recording you see here. But let's yeah, I've never heard of those. It looks like it's on the island of Cyprus though, but maybe it's a couple small islands next to it. But anyway,
Territory, the South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, the Falkland Islands, the British Antarctic Territory, and the Pitcairn Islands. For our final Venn diagram, the United Kingdom is a country situated on the British Isles and is part of the Crown, which is controlled by the monarchy. Also part of the Crown and the British Isles are the Crown dependencies. The independent nations of the former empire that still recognize the Crown are the Commonwealth realm, and the non-independent remnants of the former empire are the British Overseas Territories. Thank you very much for watching.
very interesting. So, in conclusion, you guys still own a lot of shit. Yeah, even here in the States, we all learn that the British Empire spanned a quarter of the globe and controlled a quarter of the population. All from your tiny island nation. Very impressive. Must have dealt out a lot of shit in order to get that insane feat done. I like this. This is very interesting. I can't believe I've never heard of that. What was it again? Akrotiri and Dikelia. I'm going to look that up real quick. Akrotiri and Dikelia. I already spelled it wrong, but it corrected it for me. The sovereign base areas of Akrotiri and Dikelia is a British overseas territory on the island of Cyprus. Yep. Looked like it was there. The areas which include the British military bases and installations as well as other land obtained by the British under the 1960 Treaty of Independence, signed by the United Kingdom, Greece, Turkey, and representatives from the Greek and Turkish Cypriot communities. So that means you made every surrounding nation and the nations they sit on say, look at this. This is ours. Don't fuck with us. That's pretty much what y'all said. It's impressive. I mean, you know, British history is always impressive. You guys always seem to come out on top. You guys like to throw your weight around. Maybe not recently, but it's impressive stuff. And like Al Murray said, we're the ones that got away, but you guys see it as a lucky escape. Good thing we're such good friends now. You know what I mean? maybe I should. I know there's a video out there. It's actually come in my feed a few times. I don't think any of you guys have ever suggested it, but it's a video about the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom, and how it became what they term the special relationship. Which, maybe I should do a reaction video to that, because that seems like a really interesting video. Because I know in history it wasn't always that way. It wasn't. I don't think it was really up until about World War I where we really started becoming, in terms of two countries and political entities, like friendly with each other. Up until then we always traded a lot, but we didn't really talk to each other. It was that kind of deal. But very interesting. Thank you for suggesting that. I learned some things. Probably forgot some things already too, but that's just my brain for you. Sorry about that. But thank you guys. Go check out my podcast. I just put that out. We'll probably be doing that every Monday. We call it a Case of the Mondays, where it's me and my friend Matt. I'll probably have I've already had other of my friends who I know can keep a conversation going, say they want to make appearances on there. So it's going to be interesting over the next few weeks how this thing turns out. I want to get those views up because I think you guys will find things interesting. Some things will go over your heads because you guys don't know about certain things. I talked a lot about the NFL in that video, but some of you do know about the NFL. But it's like me with football in your great lands. I don't know much about it. All I know is you guys have crazy chants that you guys throw back and forth at the players, at other fans in the stadium, at coaches, at child molesters, apparently, even at news networks, television networks, and the people watching at home on television, which that was the funniest chant I've ever heard. It's all great. I'm learning a lot from you guys, and I appreciate the hell out of you. But go check out the podcast, and I'll see if I can put up some more interesting reaction videos. I'll try to do other stuff. We'll put me and Callie are going to go snorkeling again soon. We'll put up more snorkeling stuff, let you see the beautiful things that are in the ocean. And my beautiful girlfriend will be in the ocean, too. I know you guys like some of that. So, stick around. I will see you guys soon. Much love. Kisses, King Booma. I'm out of here. Peace!